The devil's in the details, as bank manager Uma Devi spent the entire day in the witness dock being questioned on the money trail by Najib Razak's defense lawyers on day 9 of his SRC International trial. The former Prime Minister is accused of money laundering and other financial offences in a 42 million ringgit fund transfer from the government firm, but his lawyers suggested that the money trail was a result of an exploitation of a loophole or failure of the banking system. By the Malaysian Insight, this is The People versus Najib Razak. Follow us into the courtroom where it all happens. I'm Patrick Teo. Najib arrived in court at 8:55 a.m. in a dark blue suit and a red tie with circles on it, the same one he wore on day 5. He has been punctual since the beginning of the trial, only ever arriving late when he was held up by his other court cases. His aide wasted no time and swiftly placed the 2 cushions on the dock, and while Najib waited for proceedings to begin, he played with his phone. He also seemed to have left his books at home. Uma Devi is back. Hair still up in a tight bun, she opted for a green blouse and a long pleated skirt today. She read out her prepared statement, continuing from where she stopped yesterday. To briefly recap what happened on day 8, Uma Devi's testimony established a money trail from SRC to Najib's accounts via Gandingan Mentari and Ihsan Perdana. Najib then used the money on credit cards and issued 17 cheques to various parties. Today, Uma Devi told the court a further 3.5 million ringgit made its way to law firm Hafarizam Wan and Aisha Mubarak. In 2015, Najib closed all 3 accounts, and a balance of approximately 103,000 ringgit was transferred to SRC's corporate social responsibility partner, Ihsan Perdana. Once she was done reading her statement, prosecutor Suhaimi Ibrahim had further questions for her. Here's Yvonne to tell us more.
Uma Devi confirmed that Bank Negara officers visited the M-Bank Raja Chulan branch on July 6, 2015. She said they gave specific names and asked for account opening documents. She said she then handed the documents to Bank Negara officer Azizul Adzani Abdul Ghaffar. Azizul, if you remember, was the witness with the foggy memory. Suhaimi asked her about more money being moved from SRC into Najib's personal accounts. She told the court that 4 billion ringgit was credited into SRC from unknown sources. From there, 37 million ringgit was moved into Najib's accounts through Gandingan Mentari and Ihsan Perdana. While Uma Devi spoke, Najib leaned back against the dock. After Suhaimi, prosecutor Sitam Baram took over questioning Uma Devi, and we find out that the 2 credit cards where Najib had transferred 3.2 million ringgit were in fact issued by M-Bank. Uma Devi was also asked about former SRC CEO Nik Faisal Arif Kamil, who is currently missing. Last we heard, media reported that he was travelling to and from Indonesia. Nik Faisal had been authorised to manage Najib's account. That meant he could perform transactions, collect checkbooks and bank statements, and also write instructions for bank drafts. After that, Uma Devi was let go and the court took a 10-minute break. Najib went down to the cafeteria for a cup of coffee.
During cross-examination, defense lawyer Havinderjit Singh pointed out a discrepancy between what Uma Devi said and Azizul's testimony. On day 3, Azizul said all he was given were account numbers and to obtain documents related to those accounts, but no names. But what Uma Devi said today was that she was given account numbers and names of account holders disputing Azizul's testimony. Back to Yvonne.
Uma Devi told the court that she only knew about the transactions between SRC, Gandingan Mentari, Ihsan Perdana, and Najib's accounts after going through the documents. She was not yet working at the M-Bank Rajachulan branch when the transactions took place. Havinderjit asked if there was any request for documents relating to fugitive businessman Jo Teck Loh or Jo Loh. Uma Devi said that Jo Loh didn't have an account at the Rajachulan branch. She said that she remembers Azizul from the July 6, 2015 raid at the branch, but only because she saw him in court a few days ago. She said that she knew there were other parties involved in the raid besides Bank Negara. She told the court that the officers who had raided the bank had asked for documents on 1MDB, SRC, Gandingan Mentari, Yayasan Gemilang, and Datuk Sri Najib Razak.
Azizul and Farhan's testimony from days 3 and 4 established 2 separate raiding parties, but it's unclear which raiding party Havinderjit and Uma Devi were referring to. Back in the dock, Najib, who usually looks uninterested, was staring intently at his lawyer and the witness. 4 hours into Uma Devi's testimony, the court broke for lunch. Najib went off in his black sedan. When court resumed, Havinderjit started asking about SRC's relationship managers, Joanna Yu, Crystal Yap, and Daniel Lee. Uma Devi said they had all left M-Bank. Relationship managers are assigned to clients by the bank. They help the client with a multitude of things such as opening accounts, passing down instructions for transactions, and putting out fires. Think of them like butlers, but for banking. The relationship managers are supposed to get anti-money laundering compliant documents when it came to large transactions. Havinderjit then moved on to Uma Devi's dealings with investigation agencies. She told the court she had met with B&M officials once, the police once, and MACC on several occasions. Between 2015 and early 2016, she said she spent more time in MACC headquarters than at the bank. It stopped and only resumed after the 14th general election on May 9, 2018. Havinderjit then suggested that perhaps Najib didn't receive his statements, and that's why he didn't raise any discrepancies in the accounts. The prosecution objected to this line of questioning. Ray will tell us more about what happened.
Defense lawyer Harvinderjit Singh, or Harvey, showed Uma Devi a transaction order asking 5 million ringgit to be transferred from SRC to Ihsan Perdana. It had the signatures of Nick Faisal and Subuh Muhammad Yassin, which she identified yesterday. But on the document presented to her, Subuh's signature, as Harvey puts it, was, quote, as different as chalk and cheese. He said the size and placement of the signatures differed between the hard copy and scanned copy. Uma Devi, who was very composed up to this point, appeared unnerved and began to stumble on her words. Harvey began to address her as, quote, my dear, and told her not to be nervous. The defense seemed to be trying to show that there was a loophole that was exploited in the way the transactions were conducted. This is what Uma Devi said in response. Quote, for bankers, as long as signatures match, the transaction will be processed. And goes on to say that she cannot really comment on the difference in signatures. Throughout Uma Devi's questioning, Najib would sometimes turn around and exchange a few words with his friends in the public gallery.
After sifting through some documents, the defense team asked to adjourn proceedings. Shafi then requested for the trial to resume on Monday morning, as he had other cases to attend to. He continued to say that both the defense and prosecution had agreed to replace all the Friday proceedings that they have skipped. Shafi also said it was, quote, a good idea for the witness to have a break tomorrow as well, unquote. Uma Devi had been on the stand for more than 7 hours today. Yesterday she was questioned for 4 hours, and it looks like she will return on Monday. Catch us again next week. This podcast is produced, written and mixed by Revati Subramaniam, Yap Pik Kwan, Yvonne Lim and Ravin Palanisamy. Additional reporting by Beed Hong. Other recordings from the court are by Jeremy Singh and Hasmiza Hassan. I'm Patrick Teo.